Right now, let's move on to the discussion at this hour. Now, the ruling All Progressives Congress clocked 10 years on July 31st. The party has been in the opposition between 2013 and May 2015 and has been in power since May 29, 2015. Now, APC is the first party in Nigeria's history that displaced a party in power. The party has significantly, in its first run, defeated the then incumbent PDP in 2015 to clinch the presidency of Nigeria, won control of the National Assembly and majority of the states of the Federation. Now, this feat of success was repeated in 2019 and 2023 general elections, with a mandate to consolidate on its leadership, expand good governance, and extend the frontiers of economic and social development of our dear nation, Nigeria. Now, during the 10th anniversary of its existence, the party congratulated its members, stakeholders, and party leaders for achieving the important milestones, also applauding its compatriots for their invaluable support and resilience these past years as the government continues its determined efforts to tackle poverty, insecurity, systemic corruption, and expand access to economic opportunities and improved living standards for all Nigerians. Now, how has the party fared this far, and what do Nigerians think about the party's performance in the last 8 years? Now, to look at the party's journey so far are two APC chieftains. First is the first APC National Vice Chairman, South-South, in the person of Hilliard Ita, joining us via Zoom. And we also have joining us via Zoom the former National Vice Chairman of the North Central Chapter of the All Progressives Congress. That's Ahmed Suleiman Wambai. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us on Trust TV this morning. All right, so let's begin with you, Mr. Hilliard Ita. Now, just briefly, can you give us a history of how the APC actually came to be, and what did it take for the party, All Progressive Congress, to actually be formed?
Well, thank you very much for this very interesting question. After the 2011 elections, it became very apparent that something needed to be done to dislodge the political behemoth, the PDP, to give Nigerians a new lease of life. And so it started with a conversation between the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, and the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who decided that for us to be able to dislodge this giant that had bestrewed the land of Nigeria, or bestrewed the land of Nigeria, that it needed for all progressive forces to come together. And that is why on the 31st of July 2013, the ACN, the Action Congress of Nigeria, the CPC, an arm of ABGA, another arm of the DPP, and the ANPP came together and was registered as a political party under the name of the All Progressives Congress. And that was the beginning of the journey of the APC.
Hello.
At this juncture, pay compliments to those who sacrificed their time, their energy, and their resources.
Okay, well, we seem to have an issue, a technical issue, and okay. All right, Ita, can you hear us? Hello? Mr. Hilliard, can you hear me? All right. Well, would actually. Hello. Okay. Yes. Okay. You're back. All right. All right, Mr. Hilliard. Yes, there is. If you can hear me, just go ahead with what you were saying.
That it is only appropriate that we pay our appreciation and our accolades
Okay.
to those who sacrifice their time, their energy, and their resources to make the first amalgamation, the political amalgamation, successful political amalgamation in Nigeria, in the party of the APC, and this is why today we have to pay great respects to His Excellency, the former President of Nigeria, and the current President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for making it possible for us to have the APC as a political platform today in Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Ita, taking a look at the last 8 years, a lot has actually happened, and a lot that was actually meant to happen didn't happen. So, a lot of Nigerians seem to think that the APC has not lived up to expectations. If I may ask, and if there's actually need to change the minds of Nigerians, can you tell us what reasons does the APC actually have to roll out the drums at this time?
Let me say that the APC came into the rulership or the governance of Nigeria at a very troubled time. We have experienced a lot of upheavals, both at the universal level and at the particular level or the peculiar level of Nigeria. Do not forget that during these 8 years, we have experienced COVID-19, we have experienced world economic depression, we have experienced a lot of things. Even within the ambit of all of these very serious challenges, I would like to say that even the former president had done tremendously well in the area of infrastructural provision. I cannot say so in other areas, areas of endeavor. But you know that government or governance is a continuous process. And today, the great progressive has taken over governance. My take on whether you want to see it as an appraisal or analysis of the stay of the APC in government is that Nigerians should just give us a little time. The promises of change is about to happen. You know, the other president, President Muhammad Buhari, just succeeded in laying the foundation. We know that under him, we had tremendous challenges, but he prepared the foundation for a true progressive to come and transform the landscape, a political, socio-economic landscape
A lot
of
of people
Nigeria.
would actually
So what
say,
we ask at this point is that we have just come out of an election. Nigerians, even though not completely satisfied, but they gave us another opportunity to salvage ourselves. And I would like that Nigerians be a little bit circumspect and a little bit patient with this government that is only 2 months old. I believe that with all that we have in the renewed hope agenda, that Nigerians will be glad that at this point in our political history that we have a President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president and CNC of Nigeria. So what we ask for now, even though the story is not that of resounding successes on all fronts, but I would like that Nigerians give us a little time to deal with those issues that we are capable and the areas that we know that this president is so capable of doing, taking into cognizance his previous engagements, his previous political and public engagements in Lagos, and what the consequences or the outcomes were. If you juxtapose that with what is going to happen in the few years that is going to be the president of Nigeria, then you know that we are indeed in an environment and in an era where all the potentials of Nigeria will be unlocked in such a manner that Nigeria will be where Nigeria ought to be in the Committee of Nations.
Okay, Mr. Ita. Now, aside what some Nigerians actually, have to say about the APC, we also have, the PDP and other parties, being against the APC, saying in 8 years they actually have nothing to show for. And in addition to that, the PDP actually referred to the recent nationwide broadcast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as another round of false promises. What's your take on this after all that you have said?
I think that other political formations can have something to say, questions to ask, not the PDP. The PDP is in no place to ask those kinds of questions because, take for instance, in the infrastructural sector, the PDP was in power for 16 years. They could not provide, even though they do groundbreakings about 3 times around Odisha, they could not provide the second Niger bridge. Today we have done so. They kept breaking grounds in the Lagos-Ibadan expressway.
Okay, all right. So we actually have issues with Mr. Ita's network, and we also have the. Oh, his.
The Itakpe Wari. We have completed the Itakpe Wari railway. And we have done Lagos Ibadan railway. I can go on and on and on. The Ecom bridge, the Infamosin bridge. We have done a lot in the area of infrastructural development in 8 years, beyond what the PDP did in 16 years. So the PDP is in those.
Okay. All right. So.
That there are no questions, that Nigerians do not have the right to ask questions when a government is in power. It is the right of Nigerians to hold government and public officers accountable. So we are saying that, look, in the past 8 years, we have done well in the area of infrastructural development. In these next 4 years, we are going to unlock the economy of Nigeria in such a way that there will be an avalanche of opportunities, not just for us at this time, but even for our children and our children's children. It is heartwarming that at this point in Nigeria's history, we have a president who understands the nuances and the architecture of modern economy. So it is.
Mr. Ita, if you can actually, if you can, okay, let's.
It is to please be a little bit.
All
And
right. All right, thank you so much for that. We also have our second guest, Ahmed Wambai, joining us via Zoom. He has finally joined us. So thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Ahmed, if you can hear me.
thank you very much. And Grace won't buy for me. I haven't seen him for a while.
Mr. Ahmed? All right, we seem to also have connection issues with Mr. Ahmed. So let's go back to you, Mr. Ita. Now, you said a lot about, infrastructure, and I seem to remember, the previous president, that Muhammadu Buhari, talking about, the APC doing, or his administration doing a lot on infrastructure. What about other sectors, talking about health, education? They've done quite a number on agriculture as well. What about health and education? Are these not also important sectors that need to be looked into? with immediate effect. But if you take a look at the
Thank you very much for at least admitting, because um, it has become a norm in Nigeria that people um, do not give accolades or do not give commendations where commendations are due. So I want to thank you for agreeing with us that we have done a lot in agriculture and we have done a lot in infrastructure. Now, government is a continuum. Government is a continuum. Today, President Muhammad Buhari did very well in infrastructure and in agriculture. I can guarantee you that this president is going to do much more in education. He's going to do much more on the economy. He's going to do much more in health. You saw the caliber of persons that were screened for nomination as ministers. That should give you a glimmer of hope.
Hello, Mr. Ita.
Oh God, the very serious issue of governance.
Yes, please. We actually lost you a bit there. All right, let's move on to Mr. Ahmed Wamba. I think he just finally joined us. Mr. Ahmed, if you can hear me, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak. All right, so Mr. Ahmed, if you can hear me, this question is for you. Now, it is actually one thing to wrestle power from the incumbent, and it's another to be able to, maintain that power and also promote the interest of the citizens. When it comes to the interest of the citizens, how would you say the APC have actually done so far in the past 8 years? Hello, Mr. Ahmed. All right, let's go back to Mr. Hilliard Ita. If you can hear me, Mr. Hilliard.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, all right, Mr. Hilliard. All right, we're actually talking about how the government has actually done on education and health. You were actually speaking, but we seem to have lost you there. If you can go ahead with what you were saying, please.
Well, I'm saying that I thank you first for giving accolades to President Muhammadu Buhari in the area of agriculture and infrastructure. And I must also tell you that government is a continuum. And this government, President Muhammad Buhari of APC has handed over power to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of APC, which means that it is a continued process. Now the concept or the areas of health and education, which is very critical to human development, is at the core of the renewed hope agenda, which means that this president is going to focus on the areas that are very critical to the development of Nigeria. This includes all its ramifications. So like I said earlier on, what we ask for Nigerians is just support and patience. In the next 2 years, you will see a lot of things that will happen in Nigeria that we have all been hoping that it happens in our country, that will be able to give opportunities for especially the teeming youth of Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is a very youthful country. About 65% of our population is in the youthful bracket. And so we need to channel their energies, which is quite enormous, into productive sectors. The ICT, artificial intelligence, all of these things are going to be unlocked. If you see the kinds of persons that have been selected to superintend over this administration to help the president mitigate all of the challenges that we have in Nigeria, if you see those persons that have gone through the screening and those that are going to be screened today, the National Assembly is indeed good hands, and that in the next few years, this will translate to real seeable development in the country.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ita, for that. Hopefully, we'll do a review in the next year to see how, this present administration is actually faring. All right, let's move on to Mr. Inua. Mr. Inua, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Ahmed Inua, can you hear me?
This is Mr. Ahmed Suleiman.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed Suleiman. Okay, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
All right. So now let's talk about the news on ground now. The former Kano State governor, that's in the person of Abdullahi Ganduje, is now national chairman of the APC. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Was it a unanimous decision, and do you think he'll be able to do a better job than the previous chairman?
Thank you very much. Actually, right from the beginning of this party, we have an experienced hands, right from the BC Akande to Oyegun, Adams Oshomole, Abdullahi Adamu, as now Ganduje is the one on the saddle of the power. All of them, if you look at them, they were all experienced in age and practice. They were at one time of the others governors of their respective state. They have Ghana experience both in public and private sector. So in every day, when you bring new hand, the new hand will come with innovation. Where there is a little vacuum by the previous administration, the person that is in charge now will try to bridge the gap. And I believe every human being has his own inadequacy and limitation. And Ganduje now is coming with another ideas and opinion to inject within the party. He will not discard the previous experience of former chairman, put them together and add his own. That enough is additional value. And you know, Ganduje was a two-term governor, severally headed an administration of the council within the FCDA. He was this and that. I think the issue is not that. Ganduje is coming with additional value to add up with the previous experience of the former chairman. Therefore, mean that the party will be run better than before.
Okay, Mr. Ahmed. If you can hear me,
yes.
Still on this. Now, when you talk,
I'm hearing you.
When you talk about competence and integrity in the cabinet formation, now, what are your thoughts on the ministerial nominees so far?
Well, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Some people, by all ramification, you may think they are good people by their citation, by their pedigree, by their experience. Sometimes when they come to the mantle of authority, when they are on the saddle of authority, they change. The only hope I have is Mr. President, and he will be able to checkmate everything. You know, when the head is good, the rest of the body has to be good. So in administration, what people tend to forget, when Mr. President has assumed power, he has shown a lot of integrity, he has shown a lot of capacity, and of course, he is willing to change the narration of the Nigerian politics. So if the Mr. President has agreed not to play by the rules, definitely we expect a change in Nigerians' administrative platform. The mantra will change because the president will be at the head of the authority. He will be in the driving seat. Anybody who doesn't do the right thing, he must not only shown the way, he must be investigated and queried. If he is to go to jail, he should go to jail. That wish at least put some senses and sanity in the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, now if you can actually tell us what particular challenges does the APC face at the moment, because we know, everything has its own challenge. Every organization has its own challenge. And what reforms do you think can be put in place to actually make the party a lot better?
You know, management of human being is the major sciences in the human endeavor. Why management of human being becomes a problem? Because a human being may decide to change his behavior, having taken the statistic, the narration, the hypothesis, your observation, and of course, even you draw a conclusion, the human being may decide to change. That is the major challenges of APC now. Some people may behave, you may think they are the right people, but sometimes they may change. So the challenge is that the new leadership in APC has to adapt a process whereby they will be able to disquiet the quiet, at least to mitigate, to domesticate senses of leadership. Leadership by skill, leadership by inclusion, leadership by not having a segregated leadership. The leadership that is always enjoying a good process is the leadership that when a leader decided to embrace every sector of the leadership, there is no any divide between the North and South. There is no divide between the religion. Our problem in Nigeria, we always emphasize sectionality, religion. This is a major problem, because if you want to punish an offender, if it's a Muslim, the Muslim will say no. If it's a Christian, the Christian will say no. As long as we divorce that sentimentalism of religion and sectionalism, tribalism, the operation of the party will be good, operation of the government will be good. That's why you see when they are shouting about Muslim ticket, the most important thing is not a Muslim or a Christian in this Nigeria. We need good leader. We have suffered so long. If it is the Muslim, the solution, we could have gotten this solution far. If it is the Christian, is the solution of the Nigerian nation, we could have gotten this, because some of us are religiously inclined. But that's not the issue. The issue is character. The issue is sincerity. The issue is at least patriotism, okay, and appreciation of what the downtrodden people are, the suffering of the people, not the religion.
All right.
Religion is the opium of the masses. So I think what we are going to do, we expect the new leadership, both at the party level and the administrative level, to embrace no nonsense, no any sentimentalism about religion or tribe or even any other consideration. But our consideration should be centered on patriotism, honesty, integrity. The nation will come and pass.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for your take on this discussion today. Mr. Ahmed Suleiman Wambai, thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak this morning.
Thank you for taking us.
All right, we appreciate you. That was the former National Vice Chairman of the North Central Chapter of the All Progressives Congress. And we also have Mr. Hilliard Ita still with us here. Mr. Hilliard, one final question quickly before we actually wrap up, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I seem to remember in 2021, the then APC chairman of the Caretaker Extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee and Yobe State Governor, Maimala Buni, said the APC plans to rule for 36 years, which is, give or take 10 terms. Where do you see the future of this political party, and is that goal still on the agenda?
Well, first of all, I do not share the sentiments of His Excellency Governor Mala Buni. I am a Democrat. I respect the wishes of the voter in Nigeria. I respect the wishes of the masses of this country. And we cannot begin to put, we are not the PDP that said they were going to rule for 60 years. What we can say is that we are going to do our utmost best to give the good people of Nigeria the kind of governance that they desire, the kind of governance that will unlock the potentials of Nigeria. We are not to set a timetable of how long we are going to be in governance. Having said so, let me say that the implementation of the Renewed Hope agenda will bring Nigeria from where we are now to where we ought to be. In the area of industrialization, in the area of agriculture, in the area of health, in the area of education, in the area of human development index, all of these things will be pursued with vigor. It is going to be pursued in a manner that has never been seen in Nigeria. You know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come to Nigeria in the time that things are quite difficult in the country, and there is a worldwide recession that has also affected the economy of Nigeria. But having said that, that is not an excuse. We're not going to give excuses. We're not a government of excuses. We are going to bend down and give Nigerians the kind of work that Nigerians expect from us.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Hilliard.
And before I go, let me say that we will be in governance as long as the Nigerian people are satisfied with our work in government.
All right. Yes. Can you hear me? All right, so we have to wrap up this segment right now, if you can hear me. Like I said, congratulations to the APC on their 10th year anniversary, and we hope this administration lives up to the expectations and also the promises that they've actually made. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So that was first APC National Vice Chairman, South, Hilliard Etta, joining us to talk about the 10th year anniversary of the All Progressives Congress. And with that, we've come to the end of this particular segment. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back at the top of the hour, the show continues. Stay with us.